Now request Mr. Tripurari Sharan to please say a few words on this particular topic.
Quality is the only real challenge. The word may seem very easy to look at or hear, but it encompasses within its wombs real challenges to be able to come up to the imperatives of quality. I think in this whole run up to the challenge of quality, I've had the good fortune of not only training people who have gone into the world of cinema, but also the world of television, because I do not know whether many of you know this or not, but the Film and Television Institute of India is also the official training ground for the personnel of Doordarshan. So I am currently working with many of those professionals who trained under me at the Film Institute, and therefore, with some amount of authority, I can stress this point that, be it again print journalism or electronic journalism, you know, your output is 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 a subject of how well you integrate the element of the art and the craft. And therefore, since this imperative is as important as the others that the others that I've talked about earlier, being rooted in the discourse of the day, being aware of the discourse of the day, your knowledge base and everything, this whole business of your superiority, not just in the field of craft. Somebody who's very good in the craft may only go thus far. Somebody who's very good, creatively in the art of that particular field, whether it is again print journalism or electronic journalism, he also might also just go thus far and not beyond. But anyone who brings in an integrated version of these two elements of your training will be the one who will go ahead of either of these two categories, which are rooted completely only in one of the strands of learning, either the art or the craft. Acting is not just a business of learning how to, you know, move your body or catch the light while you're shooting, or it's not a matter of just good diction, but it's a matter again of cerebration before articulation. And that for that cerebration to come up to certain standards of quality, do one thing. All of you, those of you who would accept this advice from me, do just one thing, and that is to keep reading. Read, read, and read. Read, meaning, I'm not saying you read biology or sociology, but if nothing else, continue to read literature. And I can see a very clear difference. I swear, I can tell you that today, 6 years after I left them, and 6 years since they have begun performing in the world of Bombay cinema, I see a clear difference between those boys and girls who have devoted themselves very scrupulously to the task of updating their knowledge base, updating their, their sense of literature, their sense of art, which comes invariably along with, reading literature, and the ones who just believe कि नहीं यार चलो एक्टिंग करना है, एक्टर को साला पढ़ने से क्या मतलब है, एक्टर की पढ़ाई से क्या ये है. I can see a clear difference. So, the art and craft. And before I close, I hope I've not bored you long enough, for too long. Before I close, I would go back to what Ashutosh said: discipline. Without that discipline, it is impossible to achieve any of these things. And on the matter of discipline, again, I would tell you one thing. You don't need to have a very restrictive, notion of discipline. Discipline means that you do what you have to do at the time when you have to do it, and do it as intensely. So therefore, I would tell my students, when I would be shooting a film with them, we would have a party till 2 o'clock in the night. But I used to tell them that, look, there is no waiver of the morning call. If we have to shoot before sunlight, 6 o'clock is the call time, all of you have to be there. And I can tell you that those of them who used to make it in the right spirit of the exhortation that they were subjected to have finally begun to make it in life also. Maybe there can be odd exceptions. All of us from JNU, including friend Ramesh Datish, Dr. Phulchand Singh, Sindhu Jhaji, I'm sure, when we look back at the history of all our associations, all our friends, I think one distinctive feature between those who have fallen by the wayside and those who kept on moving is, I think, the element of discipline. Some of them who have unfortunately fallen by the wayside were probably brighter than many of us. But this lack of discipline, my dear friends, can be very killing. So you have to count how many of these parameters I have talked to you about, but ultimately they lead up to the summation of only one factor, and that is quality. Quality of your output, quality of your personality, quality of your articulation, quality of say what you may. Thank you.